want to introduce myself first, very briefly. I'm by training a petroleum explorationist, geologist, and geophysicist. I have worked for major companies like Shell Oil and Sun Oil in Canada. I worked for medium-sized companies in Indonesia and Australia. And the last 20 years, been living in Israel and working on mega project. I'm representing here a company, Gvauot. This is a public company traded on the stock market in Tel Aviv since '93. The public put all the money into this project. We have invested already over $65 million in drilling 4 wells and shooting seismic and interpretation of all the and interpretation, etc. And we have discovered a mega oil field. And unlike any other company in Israel, we're probably unique in this sense. We have mapped and selected the Negev area, the Rosh Hashanah area, from the very beginning. Since '92, we received a permit in this area, and we never moved anywhere. And we persisted, and finally, we believe we have confirmed that we have an oil field discovered in the Negev structure. That's probably as much as I want to say at this audience about activities of Gvauot. I'll just speak now briefly, the time I have, on general subject of energy. Often people ask me, why is it suddenly we have found all this gas offshore and oil onshore more or less at the same time? What's the trick? What's going on here? And usually there are clever people, maybe very clever people, who ask these questions. So my answer to this is that basically the time has come when the technology of oil industry has come to the point where it is possible to do what we're doing now, and economics are also right. Offshore, the deep water drilling has been developed for drilling and production and completion, and the price went up. Therefore, all the conditions, of course, there are many other parameters which are needed, but these are the 2 major conditions which are always required for successful exploration. You cannot produce unless you have the technology to do that. And onshore is exactly the same thing. We have discovered oil in the Negev structure back in '94. And we drilled 3 wells until the latest Negev 5 well. But until very recently, the technology was not really available to us. Maybe in the last 5 years, only developed to the stage where it is now. And Negev oil field requires fracture technology and proppant, etc., which was not available back in '94 when we first discovered oil. Also, price of oil in '94 was less than $10 a barrel. Today is over 80. So these 2 parameters are basically responsible for all the successful activities onshore and offshore and onshore. And of course, time comes when these parameters are set in place, when somebody will come, bring the expertise, and put the money. And this is what happens offshore, and we were patient enough and to wait until the time when we can start finally successfully production because of technology development. Now another point which I want to bring, and this is basically my main thought which I wanted to share with you today. Why is Israel coming into this energy worldwide game, so late in time? over maybe 100 years of history passed until today for oil production in the world. We are today what is known to be in the world in the industry at the peak of oil production. Until now, the production was always on the increase. It was climbing up. Today, we practically reached the flat plateau of oil production. Maybe we have already started the decline. If not, it will come very, very soon, and there is no question about this. And the decline in oil production will bring with it very cataclysmic realities, because imagine there is suddenly not enough oil, price goes crazy up, and there is no way to avoid it. In today's world, oil and gas are responsible for probably around 90% of energy production in the world, and nuclear maybe another. Okay, nuclear maybe another 8%, and all other beautiful clean energy responsible for less than 1%. They're beautiful. I have nothing against them. They should be developed. But the main question is what will replace the oil production and gas production in the world, because 100 years from now, it will be a day when it will be no more oil around. So my recommendation is that instead of taxing these industries, particularly in Israel, because we do have a pool of brain here, which probably doesn't exist anywhere else in the world, and this pool of Jewish brain should be encouraged. Companies like energy companies, oil and gas producers, should be given substantial incentives. New faculties of energy should be open, and hopefully we will be responsible for finding a real solution to the energy replacement in the world, because if it's not found, the world would be very different 50 years or even from now, between 50 and 100 years. Okay, thank you very much.
הבטחתי, נשאר קצת פחות ממה שקיוויתי, אבל יש לנו זמן למספר שאלות קצרות, לא הרצאות נוספות, שאלות קצרות ותשובות קצרות מחבריי על הבימה. בבקשה, אני מבקש לרכז מספר שאלות, אם ישנן כאלה, ונעביר אותם למשיבים. וואו. אין שאלות, אני מבין ש... בבקשה. תיגש לאיזה מיקרופון בבקשה. רק שנייה, לא שומעים. כולכם מדברים על גז, על נפט, וכל מיני דברים טובים. מה קורה עם פרויקט תעלת הימים שאמור לפתור כמעט את כל בעיית החשמל במדינת ישראל?